Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland, and here I'm going to tell you about taking a river cruise down the River Moscow in the city of Moscow. You can see St. Saviour's Cathedral to the aft of the boat, and when you're looking on over the starboard side, you can possibly recognize some of the towers. So it's a wonderful way to see the heart of Moscow, and the river, it meanders an awful lot. Get on at the Ukraine Hotel, for example, the sort of cruise I'm on. Takes 3.5 hours. It doesn't cost very much, 1,200 rubles, and there's a restaurant and bar on the way. You think that's where the real money is? They expect you to be dining. It's actually not overpriced what it is. High quality food. This is a Mercedes-Benz one, so a lot of Germanic cuisine served up. And it being midweek and the time of day, setting off at 3 in the afternoon, not particularly busy. There you can see the Grand Kremlin Palace behind me, which dates to the late 19th century, and it's now one of the official residences of the President of the Russian Federation. So one of the few downsides of the cruise is you can't get off for 3.5 hours. There's no midway point where you could hop on or hop off, but that's it. But it goes at a sedate pace, so you can really enjoy the splendid, luxuriant verdure of the centre of Moscow, as well as seeing many of the most historic buildings, because the river is very much a city feature, and Moscow was built here behind the Grand Kremlin Palace, started here on the Borovitskaya Hills thousands of years ago, the first prehistoric settlement, because it was a good point near a very narrow, fairly narrow point in the Moscow River, and near that Bochuga Island, which is over the other side, as in there's a bit of it, and these hills commanded the crossing point, and then a bit behind the Kremlin is where the original settlement was. Doesn't exist, it's archaeological remains, and here's where the Kremlin, as in fortress, which is a compound of several buildings, and you can see one of the cathedrals in there. There are a few of them. Trouble is, there's this Russian word sobor, which is more literally assembly, not necessarily a religious location, and it's a loosely translated cathedral. There appear to be an awful lot of cathedrals in Russia, therefore. You know, it's almost like every third church counts as a cathedral for that reason. They don't all have a bishop, whereas in the Western Rite, every cathedral has a bishop or indeed an archbishop. So it's a very pleasant way to spend an afternoon. That guy's making an awful lot of noise, spraying the wall, and it's very relaxing, looking out onto the river. There's some soothing sights. There's no commentary, which is possibly a downside. You might wish to hear what you are looking at. There's only some light incidental or perhaps ambient music downstairs. So yeah, if you're pressed for time in Moscow, it's perhaps not the best way to spend your time, because you often don't really know what you're seeing. Then there are these other little cruises like that, which are shorter, cheaper, don't have such extensive dining options, and those might suit some people more. The sort of boat I'm on has got 2 levels. It's got the first class and second class. I'm in second class, which is not bad at all. I'm at the higher level of it, and you can go outside, you know, dining en plein air, or you can be inside, but obviously you're lower down, so you don't have quite such a good view. The first class option is up on this level, and indoors they can go in and out as much as they'll want. So that's it. There's great service. There are plenty of waiters and waitresses. There's this new park they opened not so long ago, and it's got this walkway which protrudes overhanging the river. You shall see it in a moment. I could see it with the naked eye. You shall see it behind me. And there's a photographer coming around, hawking his services. There you can see all those people out there. Now this only runs from April to the 1st of October. So here we are with the autumn solstice.